Bonjour, today let's conjugate the verb avoir to have in 5 different French tenses. So we are going to conjugate it in the present tense, in the passé composé, imperfect, conditional and future. Okay, so we are going to conjugate the verb avoir in 5 different tenses. I have chosen avoir because it's a highly irregular verb and most important verb as it is known as an auxiliary verb. So knowing how to conjugate avoir in those different tenses will mean that you will be able to conjugate other verbs in the pluperfect, in the past conditional, future perfect, you name it, if you know what I'm about to teach you. Okay, so let's have a look at avoir in the present tense. We are going to learn how to say I have, you have, she has. Okay, so it is j'ai, I have, tu as, you have, il a, he has, elle a, she has, on a, one has, nous avons, we have, vous avez, you have, ils ont, they have, elles ont, they have. Okay, elles ont, the last one being the plural feminine. Okay, if you're not familiar with the subject pronouns, please go back to my lessons on subject pronouns and you will learn everything about the different ways of saying you and they. Okay, so we've seen this verb in the present tense. Let's have a look at what it looks like in its passé composé form. Now, the passé composé is quite simple. It's a past tense that has happened in the past and is gone done over with. We want to say, I have had, okay, because we are conjugating the verb avoir. It is conjugated with the verb avoir as an auxiliary in a past tense. So we want to say, I have had. Here you're using have as the verb, but have as the auxiliary as well. So what does it look like in French? It looks like this. J'ai eu, I have had. Tu as eu, you have had. Il a eu, he has had. Elle a eu, she has had. On a eu, one has had. Nous avons eu, we have had. Vous avez eu, you have had. Ils ont eu, they have had. Elles ont eu, they have had. So basically, if you look carefully, we have used the present tense of avoir and we've used it for our auxiliary in order to conjugate it in the passé composé. Avoir in its past participle is eu. That is weird, but you need to learn that. Let's have a look at what it looks like in the imperfect tense. So we want to say I had or I was having or I used to have, okay? So what does it look like in the imperfect tense? It looks like this. J'avais, I had or I used to have, I was having. Tu avais, you used to have. Il avait, he used to have. Elle avait, she used to have. On avait, one used to have. Nous avions, we used to have. Vous aviez, you used to have. Ils avaient, they used to have. Elles avaient, they used to have. So here we go. We have conjugated it in the imperfect tense. So you're going to tell me, but why do I need to know this tense? Well, first of all, to know how to say I used to have, and not only that, to be able to conjugate in past tenses such as pluperfect. So we want to say, for example, I had walked in the woods. You would say j'avais marché dans les bois. Okay, j'avais. And this is what we've just learned how to say. So very important that you know that. And what about the next tense? It's future tense. Okay, that will be very important if you want to conjugate a past future perfect tense. Sorry. So we want to know how to say I will have walked. Okay. How do you say I will have? J'aurai, I will have. Tu auras, you will have. Il aura, he will have. Elle aura, she will have. Nous aurons. We will have. Vous aurez. You will have. Ils auront. They will have. There you go. Elles auront. Sorry about that. They will have. So it's ils auront, elles auront. Okay. Now sometimes I do that so mechanically that I can't remember which tense I'm conjugating, but it is definitely the future endings. Now, in order to conjugate an auxiliary verb, you've got to learn them by heart. There is no such pattern. When it comes to ER verb, there is more of a pattern. IR verb, there is patterns as well. And sometimes in third group verb, you have some kind of patterns. But to be and to have, please learn this by heart. Let's have a look at what avoir looks like in the conditional tense. We are going to learn how to say, I would have, okay? Remember, we don't have will, we don't have would, we have special endings. The stem for conditional in French is the same as the future. So you have or, A-U-R, you use that. And what you're going to do now is put the endings of the imperfect into the conditional. Okay, so we've got the stem of the future, or, and add the imperfect endings. Ion, ié, est. So here we go. J'aurais, I would have. Tu aurais, you would have. Il aurait, he would have. Elle aurait, she would have. On aurait, we would have. Nous aurions, we would have. Vous auriez, you would have. Ils auraient, they would have. Elles auraient, they would have. So now let's have a look at the chart completely. And so we've got the verb to have in the present tense, in the passé composé, in the imperfect, future, and conditional. And please have a look at it really carefully. Why don't you learn it if you are that, into it? Learn it. Why not? Okay? Okay, that's it for me. Remember, there is a support guide available to this lesson at learnfrenchwithalexa.com. And why don't you leave a comment? I will endeavor to answer. That's it. Au revoir, à bientôt. Bisous, bisous. Salut!